sounds good. So I'm hoping that when the Evertune gets installed in there, it will sound even better. So let's box this up and let's send it over to Melbourne. I will see you in about 5 days, I think.
Several days later.
Yeah, dude, tell me everything about the install.
I mean, when you hit me up initially, I think my first thought was like, okay, the bridge is wider than the footprint of the Evertune. So obviously the first thing I considered was that I needed to route out a block to kind of inlay a new piece of wood. So I could kind of start from a fresh surface when it came to the Evertune routing. From there, man, I just had to remove your stock bridge and then kind of map out an area that I was going to route out. I didn't want to make it too big, so I hit up my friend Kyle for a piece of ash so that I could try and match some of the grain on the top. Yeah, he got me a couple of planks of ash that I could choose some grain lines from, and basically just cut a hole in your guitar, filled it out, just to cut another hole in your guitar and install an Evertune, which sounds kind of redundant, but yeah, when it comes to making things look factory aesthetic, that's just what needed to be done. So in the video here, I'm just pulling the bridge out and getting everything ready. Yeah, just basically wanted to get it assembled so I could start mapping out my game plan and figure out how to do it. So just taping up the top. So like when I put my templates and stuff down, I didn't damage the timber. The tops of these are a little bit soft, so you just got to be a bit careful. Yeah. I like modifying guitars, but making them look unmodified, if that makes sense. So that was kind of the goal with this one as well.
You cut in a massive hole in the guitar and taking out a chunk of wood. So it had to extend over the ears of the original bridge to then be filled in. Is that right?
Yeah. Like you can fill in like an abstract shape. It's just way more time consuming.
Yeah.
So it's better to just start from scratch and create like just a square blank. I can then inlay into the timber, and all I'm doing here is I'm just trying to align the sides and the edges to make sure that it's square. Because if you're not square when it comes to putting in the new block of wood, you've got to do like some crafty sort of shaping, and it just makes the process harder. So I had two planks of ash, one at 16 mil thick, one at 10 mil thick. The original cavity I routed down to like 9.5 millimeters, so I didn't want to have to do heaps of sanding or take it to like a barrel sander or something like that to level it. So I just tried to get measurements as close as possible. I saw this on the internet one day like 10 years ago, and I was like, how am I going to do this? And I just remembered. So I just matched some of the grain lines on your guitar to like a piece of wrapper or something I had in here that I just chopped up, so that I could then transfer that onto the new piece of ash, find roughly where some grain lines matched, and then I took my cutout from that section so that I could inlay that in the guitar, and it wasn't going to be too different when it come to trying to match up some grain lines. So
that's
a little bit of a tricky process, but it got flooded with epoxy, and then I just clamped it overnight with some heavy duty F clamps, and then just sanded until everything was level. Sanded through a little bit of the original print as well, and then just carried on from that. So there might have been an hour and a half to 2 hours of sanding on top like this.
I was going to say, this brings me back to year 8 woodwork. Far out.
Pretty much, man. It was the only class I ever liked. So that and automotive. Retape the guitar. I needed the neck on because you need to align the position of the Evertune with the neck itself. These are the 4 mounting points for the Evertune once it gets dropped onto the instrument. But these 4 holes as well act as the reference points for all other routing that gets done. So it's incredibly important that this is perfectly center to the middle of the neck, and it's perfectly aligned with the scale position as well. Once you drill those holes, there's not really any going back.
It looks like a huge, it's like, it's gone through the guitar now, like that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, pretty much. It's it goes all the way through the body.
Oh, so this is the back of the guitar being routed.
Yep. Yeah. So the first little route there by my left hand for the retainer plate that holds the Evertune in while under tension. And then everything else is just the routes are removed from the center of the guitar just to allow space for the Evertune modules to operate freely. Yeah, you can see like I did go through the pickup cavity. Just depends on the depth of the pickup route and the thickness of the body as well. And then what I'm doing here is I'm creating a chamfer so that the front edges of the saddles, when intonated correctly, don't make contact with any timber. So if this part's not done, what tends to happen is when you go to intonate your high E string, which sits furthest forward, it'll cause that saddle to not operate correctly because it doesn't have free movement to bend back and forth. I'm just drawing off lines where the fascia sits. So as a means to, there's no point me recreating the grain lines underneath the Evertune unit because I'm just creating work that is going to be invisible anyway. This process, I will start to follow the grain lines from the top of the guitar, and then I'll kind of transfer those into the inlay block that I've made here. Try and sort of like match the depth of the grain as well.
Yeah, okay. So you're actually using like a tiny file, more or less, to kind of like fill in those grooves.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like matching depth of like how hard to press into the timber as well, and just following the lines from the existing top of the guitar over to my new inlay so that when it's painted, it all just looks uniform and makes sense visually. Yeah, I just hit the top with some satin black, and you can see the grain lines are a little bit prominent here, but I sanded it back twice and then I hit it with black again. Just to sort of make the depth of the grain match. I wasn't super happy the first time I hit it with some black, so I wanted to do it again. And yeah, the end results come up 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it looks flush. Like it looks like it was stock. Yeah.
Now it's as though I'm just working with a stock route. I sprayed the rear of the inside of the guitar as well, so if anyone was to ever take the back off, like you would never know that any of the work has been done.
Yeah.
It would look like a factory install because it's resprayed back to front. And then, yeah, just a gentle tap to get the unit in. And then I would have started the, just the reassembly process, getting all the electronics in and then setting up the unit.
So does the Evertune unit like come set up? Do you have to put the saddles in yourself, or is it just comes as like a complete unit that you literally just slip in?
They come as a complete unit, but they're not set up for your particular string gauge or tuning.
Of course.
So that's that all gets done when a unit is installed. If you are running like a high tension string gauge or a low tension, you can order the unit like through me, and then we can specify which particular saddle needs to be high or low or standard tension.
I think because of the scale length, all of these saddles ended up being just standard tension anyway, so it kind of worked out.
Looking at that, I can see very sort of small aspects of, okay, this has been done aftermarket, but man, at face value, you would never know.
Yeah, no way.
That was kind of the goal. But yeah, on the top of the guitar, you'll find that over time, the paint will settle more and more. So it'll just kind of look more and more stock as well. So yeah, backplate on, and then electronics and everything would have gone in, pickup in. I modified the nut a little bit because there's not like a replacement nut that changes it to like a non-Floyd sort of locking nut. So I sanded the edges, the sharp edges off the stock nut, and then I hit it with some epoxy enamel, some black epoxy enamel. Just to, make it look a little more uniform and not feel as average.
So this is pretty much just all reassembly, polishing some frets before it gets to set up?
Yep. Yeah, so anyone out there that's watching this, do not polish your frets with steel wool. It's the number one thing I teach in the master classes is to not polish your frets with steel wool. It gets everywhere, it gets all in your pickups, gets inside your cavities, and it'll short out any electronics and just ruin them. It also just like gets in there and rusts. So yeah, I use a nail buffer and just some tape. With a nail buffer, you can follow the profile of the fret. It prolongs the life of the fret as well, keeping them clean. And yeah, just takes 20 or so minutes to kind of get through all of them.
So yeah, we went with drop C sharp on this one. I had it in C sharp. It held, like I was playing super hard and obviously it's in tune because of the Evertune, but I couldn't, like the tension was like just too low, like just below the threshold for me.
Yeah.
So for now, I've bumped it up a half step into D, and that feels unbelievable. It feels great.
Yeah. When I did this, because I obviously know how you play, I impact intonated it, like beating the hell out of it, because I knew you were going to really put it through its paces. So I impact intonated it so that like when you're hitting that note viciously, it would bounce into pitch. So it was like a touch loose. So you're right. Probably D is going to be
Yeah.
is going to be.
And I intonate my stuff the same way as well. Like I'm just beating the shit out of my guitar. So in tuning and intonating it, just because I know that that's how it's going to be played.
There's plenty of like little 1%ers when it comes to setting up an instrument for someone. It helps to know the customer and how they play and what they like to play as well. So it's important to, like yourself, if someone's interstate, like I would watch some videos on how they play if they sent me a guitar, or I'd have them sit in here so I can fine tune it to their playing style, because it's not a one size fits all.
Yeah, dude, looks great, sounds great, and literally looks stock. Like even just looking at the video now, it's so hard to tell because all the lines have been matched up, it's been filled in.
Pretty happy with it now. I'm looking at it like this. So
yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Final shot of the guitar, like nothing ever happened, right?
Yeah, exactly right. What do you mean it had a totally different bridge in it? This is how we
a
got
really
it.
bad bridge, mind you. And here it is, the Ibanez M80M Meshuggah signature guitar loaded with a custom Evertune.